I think all bad is done by those who have power to make change and prevent those bad things from being done, but choose not to. Now, I don't think there's a lot of bad people out there, but I think there's a lot of people who do bad things. What do I mean by that? I mean, at the end of the day, every living thing that we see, everything that's existing today, needs a means to survive. And what does that mean? Food, water, shelter. Yet today, as human beings, the most intelligent life form on this planet, we still can't get those things for free. We still must pay for those things through currency. So those who lack currency can eventually lack the necessities to survive. Now, what does that cause us to do? Anything living, the purpose is to continue on and avoid death as much as possible. So you must take severe risks to continue to live. When jobs aren't supplied to the minorities, which is statistic proven over and over and over again, they must then go into crime to acquire resources, to have a chance to get ahead. The whole thing's systematic, and it really pisses me off. From 1970 to 2000, microphone. The Americans incarcerated from 1970 to 2010 grew by over 500%, which makes me question a lot about this war on drugs. If you're a black man in America, you are 10 times more likely to be stopped and searched by a police officer than a white man. 80% of prisoners today incarcerated for drug-related offenses are either black or Hispanic. Only 20% falls to the other majority. Crack and cocaine are practically the same compound, yet the system chooses far harsher punishment for those caught with crack cocaine compared to those caught with cocaine. Statistics said in 1986, if you were black, you were going to receive an 11% longer prison sentence than any other race. And in just 4 years, that grew even higher to 49%. America has only 5% of the world's population, yet it still holds over 20% of the world's prison population. A white man in America today has a 1 in 17% chance of going to prison. A black man has a 1 in 3. Those facts alone make me truly question, what is this the war on? It's funny because we look at criminals in a negative light, or some of us do. Some of us that never had lows or experiences that have caused them to do things that weren't necessarily legal. But you have to look at the criminal in a form of admiration to some degree, because those people are willing to take risks, risk it all, in order to have a chance at getting ahead. There's a form of ambition attached to that I don't think a lot of people realize. Now, it sucks, and one thing I always preach is the area of gray. It exists, it's heavy. I don't think good and bad is really a thing, but those people are extremely ambitious. They sit there and think of ways to juke and maneuver through the system, find gaps, find holes, find ways to acquire and cheat and do things and a means to acquire money. Now, I don't praise or approve of crime, but there's a level of genius to it. You know, people sit there and they look at people and they go, oh, that's a bad person, or they hear things that they did, that's a bad person, that's a bad person. But I think we ultimately have to look at what opportunities did that individual have? And where do those opportunities come from? Those come from the people in power. The people in power are the ones that are restricting, oppressing the majority of Americans. 99% of the currency that exists today is held in only 1% of the world's population. That alone, there should be some questioning going on. They didn't work harder. They weren't more intelligent. They weren't harder workers, yet they still managed to fall in that 1%. And don't get me wrong, there are people that work hard and there are people who are intelligent that manage to scale. But it's highly unlikely. There's a variable of luck that we're missing as well. So when I look at people that go and do crimes, sell drugs, create their own product, a product that is a necessity, an escape because of all of the media and oppression taking place, that people need an escape from this harshness. So then people go out and they attach themselves to this product and they become entrepreneurs, but not just falling by the rules that favor resources and wealth. They scale from bottom to top in this gray zone, this gray area of genius. Yet people often look at them in a negative light and like, yes, they aren't necessarily great people, but we have to look at what they had for resources. Imagine if the person who scales $1 million drug business had the ability and resources and education because education and intelligence is completely different. In education, to go then be a business owner, imagine what they would have accomplished, leveraging and being able to do things out in the open and acquire other people to fall under their umbrella. Yet we sit there and criminalize them and look at them negatively. We should, and that's just a matter of fear, because those people at the top see the genius behind it. They see the intelligence. They see the way they're able to move, the way they interact with people, the way they are able to interact with people. They see that. And that's fearful to them because they can't do it. Once again, because of the fact that intelligence and hard work doesn't translate to success. I stand behind that. I truthfully do. Like, there's other variables. Who you know, and resources. Those are the two important variables to success. Not what they tell you in school or the motivational speaker, hard work and hard work and intelligence. Those aren't going to translate, but more so who you know and the resources you have. And now the only way to get resources is for people at the bottom most of the time, because your job is going to give you enough to skim by, not enough to scale, and most of the time not enough to invest, at least the majority of jobs. So the only way to truthfully get ahead is go ahead and go into, what do they say? A crime paid market. Criminals get paid more. That's the truth. So I see the point of view there. I understand. I get it. I have an appreciation towards it, an admiration towards it, but I still acknowledge the fact that it's not necessarily a good thing at the same time. But where does that stem from? Who's not the good person? The person who's trying to give themselves a shot, or the person at the top who has all the shackles and chains and obstacles, laying them down, you're in the way? Who's truthfully the evil person? And yet we still praise certain individuals, and it pisses me off. But hey, whatever, man. Not everyone can see the picture. You know, which is why I make these videos. Maybe it'll open them up maybe it'll open the eyes for people. As humans, we get conditioned to think good or bad, and I just don't think that's really it anymore. I think all bad is done by those who have power to make change and prevent those bad things from being done, but choose not to. And the reason why they choose not to is to get people in prison. Why the fuck do they get people in prison? Why do you think so? Cheap labor, new form of slavery. Come on now. Cut the shit. People need to wake up. They just found a new form of slavery. 10 cents a day, 5 cents a day. Make some license plates, make some street signs. Come on now. I just want everyone to wake up, see what's going on. See who the real criminals are. The real villains. The people who are truly bad. Have a good one. Peace.